Hello and welcome each and all to the Lady Boss Show. I am Janise Smith and it brings me great pleasure to be your host. And I'm so glad you tuned in today to the Lady Boss TV1. Today on the show is another show-stopping guest, Nadine Henry, owner and founder of Curvé. She is inspiring, empowering, and a confident woman filled with self-love and style. You will definitely want to stick around and find out how she started her company and how it's all about embracing and loving yourself. So let me tell you, we have a whole lot of goodness in store for you today. So ladies and the men who love us, sit back, grab your favorite cup of joe, and spend a little time with me. And when we come back, Nadine Henry will be joining us. And welcome back. As promised, we are here with Nadine Henry, owner of Curvé. Welcome, Nadine.
Thank you for having me.
It's great that you're here. I love first of all, I love your company. I love that it's called Curvé, but more importantly, I love the journey of how Curvé came to be. So in, getting ready for the show, my understanding was that people used to say, you're pretty.
For a big girl.
Mm-hmm.
And the like.
Yes. So tell me about, a little bit about that. To me, when I know you, and you always have this sense of confidence. So when I was reading this and I was thinking that it was a journey to get there, I want you to kind of take us back a little bit and tell us about that journey.
Well, I guess I would have to say it's like 40 years in the making.
Yes.
It's not something that you...
You're 40 years old?
I'm 43.
Ooh, I wouldn't even put you there.
So it's taken me a lot of years just to finally be self-accepting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you're younger, I guess that's when you start building up your confidence in yourself. And even from a young age, when you have your parents, I guess being from a West Indian background too, how they always say you're thick or you're fat or
at every event, you could be the skinniest person there and they're like, wait, you're getting fat. It's
right.
So I know, yes.
When you hear that all the time,
yes,
and you're trying to develop a sense of self,
mm-hmm.
it kind of, wears on you a bit.
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying? Am I not good enough?
So you always had the confidence, and it was almost like people were trying to convince you that you were less than, and then you kind of had to change their perception of how you knew you always were, right?
Well, I don't know if I necessarily had the confidence earlier on. It was something that I had to basically grow
mm-hmm.
into.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, being younger and having family members and friends or just people in general say to you certain things, you kind of, take with a grain of salt sometimes, or it kind of wears you down
mm-hmm.
in a sense, because then you always have that in the back of your mind: am I not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? What's wrong with me? Not everyone's a size 2. There
mm-hmm.
are people of all different shapes and sizes,
mm-hmm.
right? But it's only the model less shapes, right, that get the attention and stuff
mm-hmm.
like that. And even when you're in high school and you're you start looking at boys and stuff like that, and you're not necessarily getting the attention
mm-hmm.
like how other girls are. So it's okay, you kind of stick to a different group, I guess.
But what was that what was the moment that you realize that, you are sexy, you are the point where you're I love myself, everything about me? What was there an aha moment? Was it just one day you just woke up and you're I won't say, this is family TV, but you just said, what, darn the world, I am who I am. What was it?
I think I was well into my 30s.
Wow.
Before I actually felt good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was just a matter of certain friends and certain people telling me you are this, and you are good looking, you are beautiful,
So just
you
people
are
repeating it
sexy,
to
you're
it, yeah.
right, to kind of assure yourself, and then you actually saying, you know what, I am all these things.
Yeah.
Why not
Live
embrace
it,
it
be
and
yeah.
be it,
Yeah.
right? So it took many years
Wow.
to even get to that point, and still, even so, it's still a constant, like, looking in the
yeah.
mirror and telling yourself,
We're women.
I'm beautiful,
Yeah.
I'm sexy, like, I'm confident. Like, you gotta constantly
You remind yourself.
remind yourself.
Yeah. Wow. So then, because of that, now you know you're all of that in a bag of chips. You want to start to look sexy, and that's when you were realizing that, the clothes was reflecting how sexy you wanted to look. So is this how Curvé came about?
It kind of came about that way. It was more like I had an ex-boyfriend who kind of challenged me to do something with being plus size.
So why is he your ex? He seemed like a good man. Okay, we won't go there. We'll stick to the story.
Right.
But you have to come back on the next time and tell me about that. But anyway,
so
go ahead.
The way Curvé came about was kind of like a challenge from him, saying, I think you should do something, and I think you should own
Who you are.
who you are. So I was like, yeah, that's not me. Like, I don't, specifically what he was talking about was something I would never do. But
Okay.
it was more like he wanted me to do parties for like big girls and the people who love them. That was the theme.
Ooh, well now.
And I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if that would actually.
Wait a second. He was willing to share you like that?
Well,
Maybe that's why he's no longer. That's why he's your ex.
I don't know if he's necessarily wanting to share me that way, but I think he's like, there's so many people who are like you, who want to do certain things and go out and, like, date and,
Another way of looking at it, that he was so proud of the woman that he had that he wanted to show everybody, like, this is my woman. You know what I mean? That's another way of looking at it.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably what he was thinking. He probably doesn't know that, but that's probably what he was,
I hope that's what he was thinking.
Yeah.
So
as a result of him saying that, you thought this would be the better route for you.
Right, because I think this is more me, like, through fashion and style, it's a better way, I think, to express yourself. So, everyone has, like, those, I think it's really popular now, like, the t-shirts, all the slogans and stuff, like, curvy Barbie and or black Barbie or sexy diva or thick and thick and slim, or so I don't even know. They have a whole bunch of different words or phrases that people use. So to express themselves. So I thought it was a good way.
Was it difficult to break into this industry that really, I mean, it's getting better, yes, but there's still size 0 is, the models that are running around, like, you want to be throwing them like a piece of chicken. It's kind of like, you need to eat something. Like, how did you break into that industry where it's still, size does matter? Like, it's still, how did you do that?
It's hard, and I think size is always going to matter as much as we try to say, like, and be more inclusive nowadays. I think it's always going to matter. Like, it's just like racism. You never totally get rid of the...
It's still lingering there.
Right, it's always lingering.
It gets better, but it's still there.
It's still there, right? And I think now we have more opportunities as plus-size women to actually, be more positive, and I guess through our fashion. Because I guess growing up, I was saying in my thing I sent you that growing up, there was never stores that you could really shop at. Even still to this day, there's still not a lot of places where you can go and shop. I can't go to Scarborough Town Center and, like, check out all the stores in the mall because only certain stores carry certain things. The most I can go there for is, okay, let me look for a purse or shoes. And that's realistic.
Yes.
Right? Because even like Susie's was selling, Susie Shear was selling plus size for a little bit, and I went back a couple months ago and they're like, oh, we no longer sell plus size, we only do it online. And I was just like, excuse me? Like,
that's kind of crazy.
Why is it only online?
And even still, like, what I like about your clothes is it shows the sexy. There are stores that are in the mall, but it's almost like, they're putting you in this, like, huge outfit to kind of cover up your sexiness. So I think you're kind of you're putting the sexy into your, into your clothing line. You're showing it, right?
Yes.
You're so modest. Yes. So I am going to let the people see what we're talking about in terms of your line. We have some here.
Okay.
And so we're going to be displaying some. We're going to get to a little bit more about, where we can get all this good stuff and what's up and coming for you. So
Okay.
stay right where you are. We're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back. And when we come back, we're going to have some of your great, clothing line to share. So come on back, fill up your cup, and come on back. And we are back with Nadine Henry, the founder of Curvé, and she's given us a little bit of a treat, a little bit of a sample of some of her beautiful pieces, her clothing line. It's a T-shirt line with some, some great sayings. I think the newest one here.
Yep,
I like that one.
Extra sexy.
May I be so
Yes.
bold as to hold it up? We're all a little extra sexy, so I think this is really, wow. I don't know if the TV or the screen can pick it up, but it has nice glitter on it.
Yep.
Yeah. So how do you come up with for example, how did you come up with this one here, extra sexy?
Well, extra sexy, I got it kind of from my niece. She's always to be like, watching me get ready, and she'd be like, oh, Auntie, you look really sexy. And I'd be like, I don't look just sexy, I look extra
Yeah,
sexy.
I love it. And I also love the fact that it's like, stretchy, so it will accentuate all the good parts about
Right.
you. I really like that, and the colors as well. So how do you design it? Is it that you have a team of designers, or is it?
No, I just kind of think of things that kind of like that I like and are kind of important to me, I guess, at some point in time, and I kind of come up with different sayings or slogans, and I just try to make a shirt.
Curve, own it.
Right, Curvé, own it, and
yeah.
then I also have one that's curvaceously yours. So.
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with all of these lines, like, is it that when you think about these things, like you said, it was your niece who said you look extra sexy, and you said, no, you look sexy. You said I'm extra sexy.
Extra sexy because I'm plus size, so
yeah.
I'm not just regular sexy. I'm extra.
So
sexy.
does all of these have a little bit of a tale to tell? Like curvaceous, was it like like how did that one come out?
Well, even how I got the name, I don't know how, I even remember how many names I went through.
You mean Curvé? How you got the name?
Curvé, and then I wanted to spell it a certain way, and then everyone's like, no, just kind of do like kind of like a play on words. So I did it with the accent on the E. So when people normally look at it at first, they're like curve. I'm like, no, it's not curve, it's Curvé. There's an accent on the E.
And I like the way the C goes. It's almost like by design, the C
Right.
is like curving in. Was that by design?
Yes.
Because if you look at it, if you turn it the other way, it almost looks like that's the head of the sexy lady.
Yeah.
But of course, again, it's a matter of interpretation, right? But
Right.
that's how I see it. Like, you know what I mean? It could
Yeah.
be that.
So
right?
yeah, like how we
I like
even
that
have
you're
extra
giving-
sexy too, like you have the X and the
Yeah.
S,
I
like
like that
extra
you-
small. So it's like,
Ah.
but it's extra sexy.
Speaking of that, though I know that it's for, voluptuous women, do you also make it, because, I mean, extra sexy could go to all women, all shapes and sizes.
Right, and I didn't want to just do something where it just kind of singles out one group.
Yeah.
Because there are smaller people who have curves.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, why not? Curvé embodies everybody, not just plus size women. So if you got curves, then it's for you.
And is it the T-shirt with all these great little, inspirational words and, like extra sexy? Is it T-shirt line that you're doing? Are you also branching out into like, jeans and stuff like
Well,
that?
hopefully.
And bathing suits?
Well, eventually, I would like to. I don't know how long that's going to take. It'll probably take some time to do some research and find a supplier to like do bathing suits and stuff like that. But for now, we're just doing T-shirts and what do you call them, sweatshirts and sweatpants and stuff like that.
That's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And I know that every year you take part in this very successful event, beauty and hair and makeup show, and it's coming up on its 10th annual one, so I know
Yes.
that's going to be exciting. Is this where you launched your line?
Yes. So I've launched it.
How was that when it first came? Like when you first saw it
Well,
on the runway?
It was nice. It was like, 'cause you don't know how people are going to receive your work.
Yes.
And the things that you like, if people are going to actually like, because you think, oh my God, is that like an epic fail or? And then people say, oh, I actually like it. Like, Curvé, that's kind of nice. I'm
I
like,
love
okay,
the
then you
name.
feel a bit good about yourself. Like, okay, I think I can do this. I feel a little bit good about myself.
Yes.
Someone actually likes your concept.
Yeah. So you were nervous to kind of share this because you didn't know if they were going to receive it in the way that you wanted them to
Right.
to envision your company. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and how long has this been?
I'm going to say approximately 2 years in the making.
Okay. So,
So-
yeah. So it's really, so you have a web page and all of that good stuff.
I don't have a website yet. I've been starting very slow.
Yeah. Baby steps. Baby,
Baby
steps.
steps.
That's okay.
So this year, 2019, I'm hoping to get my website up and running. But I do have an Instagram and I do have Twitter.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is at Curvé, and it's actually spelled differently than how the actual name is. It's
Okay.
actually at Curvae. So it's still,
Because the curve was probably
it's
taken.
how it's pronounced.
Ah.
And that's how I originally wanted to spell
Did
it.
you do
but
that by accident or just because you wanted people to say curve instead of curve? You wanted them to,
Well, Curvé is how I originally wanted to write it.
okay.
Right? But then I couldn't, well, actually, the Curvé like this with the accent on the E was actually, Instagram wouldn't allow me to put the accent on the E. And I kept on saying curve, and curve is already taken by somebody else. So I had to do Curvé, so I might as well just do it the way it sounds.
Have you ever thought about, and you probably already did, so you did, forgive me, but putting this into like stores, existing stores, like you mentioned Susie Shares, Le Chateau, like actually having, a company, you have your line, especially summer's coming up.
Yes, I was thinking about it, and I think I might be approaching a few stores. I know now that we have a few stores in Toronto that actually sell plus-size clothing, and they have a good following on Instagram and stuff like that. So I'm thinking I might approach the owner saying, hey, let's see if we can work together or something, yeah.
That would be fantastic. I think that, like especially, with and it's good quality too. Like the quality is really, I mean, the only way that you can really see about this quality is that you buy one, and then you can see what I'm talking about, right? But the quality is really there, and did it take you, a while to get to this point, or
yes,
like even though I know you said your ex-boyfriend said let's do this, did it still take you a couple of years to kind of finally say, okay, I'm going to do this?
It did, because you find, okay, well, you have the name. How do you want to do your logo? So there's stages, like, your logo, and then from your logo, okay, what kind of shirts do you want? What kind of T-shirts? What kind of quality? Like, are you going to find the sizing? And the sizing was a very hard thing, because I still have a hard time even finding sizing that I would like to put my shirts in. So right now we go from like extra small or small to 3X. I really would like to go to 4 and 5X, but suppliers don't sell out of 4 and 5X, right? So it's tough still to even get the sizing. Even though they say we sell plus size T-shirts, they're still not really plus, right?
Forever 20, we go in those stores and it's like they're plus size. It's like this is what? This is plus size?
Yeah, right.
So,
and you think this is not a plus
still
size.
could go
This is like a
further.
large, right? So.
But I know, and I'm so glad that you came in, and you did great. I want to leave with our viewers, because there are people right now that's probably feeling less than because they're saying you're pretty, but you're pretty for your size. Like, what is something that you could tell them that really helped you? Like you said, you were 30, 30 that you finally started to own it. What is something that you could say to them that that they can know that they are, they can own it, that they're good with any skin that they're in?
I'd be like, just forget about what people say. Know who you are. At the end of the day, you just have to know who you are and what is you. No one can tell you who you are. No one can make you feel beautiful. You have to feel beautiful from the inside. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. You have to be that from the inside. Right?
So it's definitely true. Beauty comes from the inside
from within.
out. And if they can get that,
then you have everything else.
Our
You have
work is done,
confidence
yeah.
and everything else, and you're good to go.
yeah, I love it. I think that is a perfect way to end this show. But just before I end with this perfect way, I just want to make sure that everybody knows where they can get your beautiful clothing line and to support this lady boss? Where can they get it? Where can they find
Well,
out
right
about
now I'm on Instagram. Again, my Instagram handle is @Curvé, @CURVAE. And my Twitter account is also @curve_curve. So that's @CURVE_CURVAE.
Great.
And you can hit me up you can DM me, and I can contact you, and we can
Excellent.
go about that.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you guys for tuning in. I definitely hope that you will tune in next time. Thank you for watching The Lady Boss Show.